What's up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop, and boy oh boy did I just have one of the most exhausting yet exhilarating weekends in recent memory. Because as you all know, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee came out this last Friday, and I played it non-stop all weekend. Not only to cover it for the channel, but also just because I couldn't pull myself away from the game. I was one happy Pokemon fan. These games introduced so many amazing things that I can't wait to talk about on the channel over the coming weeks, and the first thing I want to discuss are Easter eggs and references that the games introduced, because these games introduced a ton of amazing Easter eggs, references, secrets, whatever you want to call it, that just really enriched the experience of the game to the point where your jaw is dropped one moment and then you're just smiling with joy the next moment. It's just a fantastic experience, and I want to share with you guys 20 amazing Easter eggs, references, secrets, whatever you want to call them, that I have found within the games. These references are ones that I thought were the best and personally enjoyed the most, but by no means is this a definitive list of every Easter egg and reference within the game, because there are far more than what I'm mentioning in this video. Like I said, I just decided to pick the best ones to share today. So if you know of another one that I do not mention here, please leave it in the comments, because I'm sure we would all love to hear it. With that being said though, I am going to share with you guys my personal 20 most amazing Easter eggs, references, and secrets in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Let's check it out. Oh, and by the way, really quick, before I forget to mention, there are going to be spoilers for the games in this video, so consider yourself warned, but with that being said, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. The first Easter egg we're going to talk about literally is available to see right as you start the game, because it is within your own room in your house in Pallet Town. If you go to the top left corner of your room, you will see a poster on the wall that showcases a Gengar and a Nidorino battling one another. And this is an obvious reference to the classic intro from Pokemon Red and Blue, where we see a Gengar and a Nidorino fighting one another, as this was the classic kind of first battle we ever saw in both the games and the anime as well. Now, this next one isn't technically confirmed as a reference yet, but it could very well be a very big one later on down the line, and that's why it's worth mentioning here. In almost every building, house, and structure all throughout the Kanto region, you will find a calendar hanging on the walls of these buildings that showcases a landmass that looks to be a Pokemon region, except it's not the shape of a Pokemon region we have ever seen before. Instead, it looks like something along the lines of the UK tilted on its side, but regardless of whether or not this is the case, it's definitely not a place in the Pokemon world we have ever been to before, and given that Game Freak likes to hint at their future games and their current games, this could possibly be a hint at the region we are going to see in Generation 8 come next year, but I guess we will of course just have to wait and see. One really cool reference that could really easily fly over your head if you weren't already aware of it is that in the start of the game, you can actually find a bookshelf in Professor Oak's lab that says in the bookshelf there is a book titled The Best of Pokemon Poems by Professor Oak. This is actually a reference to an odd segment that premiered at the end of anime episodes in Japan during the Diamond and Pearl arc, where Professor Oak would essentially give what is called a senryu, which is basically kind of like a haiku, about various things in the Pokemon world, whether it be the starter Pokemon, the Pokedex, and so on. And this was actually even further referenced later on in the game, where you meet Professor Oak right before battling the Viridian Gym, and he will actually say one of these senryu poems himself about Mega Evolution. A little later on in the games, after you defeat the Pewter Gym Leader, you will run into Blue for the first time, who, through talking to him, will actually reference his as well as Red's Pokemon journeys in the events of Pokemon Red and Blue, stating that he once went on a Pokemon journey of his own. One Easter egg that kind of comes out of left field in particular takes place inside of Bill's house on the Cerulean Cape. While you're trying to help Bill get unfused from the Nidorino that he accidentally got tied up with, there will be a cutscene that plays, and in this cutscene, a very brief snippet of the minigame music from Pokemon Stadium can actually be heard. Take a listen.
This is so cool. Why is...
Once you make your way to the Cerulean Gym and challenge Misty, you will notice that she actually has a Psyduck, which is a definite reference to the anime where, of course, Misty also has a Psyduck. The reason why this is prevalent is because Misty having a Psyduck actually did not occur in Yellow version, meaning this is a brand new reference for this game specifically. Further on down the line in Vermilion City is one of the most classic trades from the early games that fans can remember, and that is the trade involving a Farfetch'd named Dux who comes from a trainer who is looking for a Spearow. This same character and his Farfetch'd named Dux is in this game, however instead of trading you the Farfetch'd for a Spearow, he actually references this trade in Red and Blue where he says that him and his Farfetch'd are actually going to go out soon to catch a Spearow themselves instead. Also in Vermilion City is the Pokemon Fan Club, and in the Pokemon Fan Club on top of a shelf, you will see 3 plushes showcasing the Pokemon Pikachu, Eevee, and Clefairy. Now, it's fairly obvious where the Pikachu and Eevee plushes come from, but the fact that Clefairy is here amongst them has to be a reference to the fact that Clefairy was originally going to be the mascot for the franchise, just like these 2 other Pokemon are mascots for these respective games. In a very cool cameo, after getting off the SSN, also in Vermilion City, you will run into Mina, the trial captain from the Alola region, who appeared in Pokemon Sun and Moon and Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. She is more or less taking a vacation, but accidentally gets left by the SSN, and so you actually end up getting to battle her as well. Okay, so this next one definitely has to be the best Easter egg in the entire games. After you defeat Lieutenant Serge, he will give you the Thunder Badge, but he will also give you his autograph, oddly enough, as well. Well, if you go into the bag and examine the autograph, you will see that Lieutenant Serge wrote "Good luck" along with his autograph, and the icon for the autograph item is very similar if you've kind of been paying close attention to the Pokemon games, because sure enough, this autograph is the exact same autograph that the player character from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon has in their rooms. Now, it's unknown if there's any connection between these characters or if it's just a really cool Easter egg, but even if there's no connection, this is still a fantastic reference. This next one is a very nice detail that I personally appreciated a ton. In Kanto, as you might know, all of the towns and cities are named after colors, and in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, thanks to the magic of HD graphics, all of the houses and the decor within the houses match that of the town they are within. So for example, in Lavender Town, the houses as well as the decor are all lavender colored, and in Saffron City, all of the houses as well as the decor are colored the saffron color. Once you reach Celadon City, you will actually run into Brock, who is explaining that he was just in town to check up on Erica because it is good for the gym leaders to communicate with one another. However, he will also say that the girls at the Celadon City gym all turned him away, which is an obvious reference to how Brock in the anime is a little bit girl-obsessed, but always gets rejected. Also in Celadon City, you will find the offices of the developers of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee themselves, Game Freak, and while this is kind of a reference itself, it is also kind of a standard feature that we've seen in multiple Pokemon games, so it's not really that crazy. What is really cool, however, is in the Game Freak offices in Celadon City, you can see posters for the Japanese red and green as well as blue and yellow versions as well, and there is also an original Pikachu sprite from the Generation 1 games on the calendar in the office as well. If you go to the Celadon department store on the 3rd floor, you will actually find a video game shop, and in this video game shop, you'll actually see posters for another Pokemon title that released earlier this year, Pokemon Quest. And additionally, if you go to Saffron City, the game that is playing on the TV of the legendary Copycat Girl is also Pokemon Quest. Once again, in Celadon City, if you go to the game corner and you go to the classic poster that Team Rocket is hiding the switch to their secret hideout behind, you will see that it actually has a little rainbow in the color, which, given that this is a Team Rocket protected poster, is a nice subtle nod to Team Rainbow Rocket from Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Now this next one is completely random, I will admit, but it definitely is substantial enough to be considered a reference. Now I can only speak for the English version of Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee here, but in the English version on Pokemon Road, which is just outside of Celadon City, there are two NPC trainers standing right next to one another. One of them is named Hideo, the other is named Koji, and if you pay attention to the video game industry at all, this might raise a red flag because there is a legendary video game developer in the video game industry by the name of Hideo Kojima. Now, like I said, this is completely random because Hideo Kojima has nothing to do with the Pokemon games, but the fact that we've got one named Hideo, one named Koji seems like an obvious reference to the legendary video game developer. Once you get to Saffron City and begin to save Silph Co, you'll see several paintings throughout the different floors of the Silph Co offices that, when you look at them closely, actually represent different regions throughout the Pokemon world. You'll see one painting of the Tin Tower, which represents Johto. You'll see another painting of the Spear Pillar, which represents Sinnoh. You'll see another more basic painting of a tropical setting, but given the presence of some seagulls in that painting, we can deduce that that is Hoenn and Wingull. And then finally, there's another generic painting of a mountain, but given that we already have a Johto painting and we know of Mount Silver, the most famous mountain in the Pokemon world, arguably, we can say that this is probably Kanto. The reason why these four regions are represented in paintings but not the other three regions is most likely because these four regions are the ones that are based on areas in Japan, which most likely signifies how Silph Co works with these other regions since they are close by to its mother Kanto region, but do not work with the other regions of the Pokemon world because they are based on areas in other countries and therefore are much farther away. Right before you go to face the Vermilion City gym leader, you will actually have to head back to Professor Oak's lab, and there you will have a conversation with Oak and his grandson Blue. When Oak goes to introduce Blue, he will say the phrase, what was his name now? Which is an obvious reference to the classic joke in the original games where Oak doesn't seem to even know the name of his own grandson. Another one of the biggest references in these games is the appearance of the trainer Green. Now, not only is this a reference to the manga because Green is a predominantly manga-based character, but it is also a reference to the fact that Green was the original female player character that was going to appear in Red and Blue but was ultimately cut, and now she has been given her chance to shine in a remake of the games that she was cut from. When you battle her, you will also see that she has a Blastoise and a Clefable on her team as well, which are both Pokemon that she also has on her team in the manga. And for the last Easter egg of this video, just like how Green is able to be battled in these games, you can also battle Red and Blue as well. And as you battle them, you will see that Green has Blastoise as her starter Pokemon, Blue has Charizard as his starter Pokemon, and Red has Venusaur as his starter Pokemon. Now, while this might seem out of place initially, because for example, you would think that naturally Red would have Charizard, Blue would have Blastoise, and Green would have Venusaur, this is actually an amazing reference to a very old Generation 1 promo artwork where we actually see Green make one of her few appearances in the games before she was cut. And in this artwork, we see, of course, Red with a Bulbasaur, Blue with a Charmander, and Green with a Squirtle, explaining why they have these starter Pokemon in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And there we have it, everybody. Those are 20 amazing Easter egg secrets and references in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. Now, these are the ones that I personally found to be the best and most enjoyable, but it is not a complete list of every Easter egg either, because as I said earlier, there are tons more that I just simply didn't include in this video. So if there is one that you know of that I did not mention here, please mention it in the comments as well, and also let me know which of the ones I did mention is your personal favorite. If you did enjoy the video though, be sure to give it a like, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more Pokemon content like this every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And we also just introduced our first Let's Play onto the channel that's coming every Monday and Friday as well, so there's tons of content to be had on the channel, and I'd love to see you stick around. I'm also on Spotify as well if you enjoy Pokemon remixes, so I would recommend checking me out there and giving me a follow because the support would be greatly appreciated there as well. And with all of that being said, I will be back actually probably hopefully tomorrow for another video, because we normally do videos on Thursdays here, but Thursday is Thanksgiving in America, so I kind of wanted to avoid that. So hopefully we'll have another video tomorrow. If not, it will be on Friday, and then we'll have another video on Saturday as well, and the schedule will kind of just continue normally from there. So be sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of that, so you can know when I actually end up uploading. And with all that being said, I will see you then, and until then, as always, I love you guys, and I will smell you guys later.